Each week on Culinary Confidential, Christina Cates, a seasoned foodie who has worked at some of New York City's top restaurants, will share her passion for the culinary world. Whether you're a professional chef, a restaurant enthusiast, or a lover of good food, Christina dives into the heart of hospitality, exploring the trends, triumphs, and challenges facing the food service profession. And you won't want to miss her chats with some of the most interesting and influential industry voices. And now, please take your seat at the table as Culinary Confidential with Christina Cates starts now, exclusively on AM 970. The Answer.
Welcome to Culinary Confidential with Christina Cates. This show is produced in association with my dear friend, Lucas A. Ferrara. On the show tonight, we're in Beverly Hills, California. In a few minutes, I'll get on the line a couple of East Coast originals that are making waves in the West Coast culinary scene. Joining tonight are Jay Seals and Dominick DiBartolomeo of the Cheese Store of Beverly Hills and Domenico's Foods. Jay and Dominick have been friends for over 30 years, and I think it's just funny that they were both born here but made their way out west and are seemingly very happy there. The Cheese Store of Beverly Hills is LA's most iconic cheese and specialty foods market. They carry over 600 varieties of the highest quality imported cheeses, freshly made pastas, sauces, tapenades and spreads, and the very best in wines, caviar, seasonal truffles, charcuterie, and gourmet foods. Let me start off with Jay because he's my guy. In Jersey, you always have a guy for things, and Jay is one of my LA guys in the food scene. Okay, so Jay Seals, born and raised in New Jersey, and he's been in the food business for over 30 years, and there's not a job in the industry he hasn't done. But he went to LA to pursue a career in film and television, obviously. And he's appeared in TV shows like Mad Men and in films alongside John Travolta, John Stamos, James Marsden, and Julianne Hough. But he always felt this calling back to the food industry because that's where he felt most at home. He's currently the director of wholesale operations for the Cheese Store of Beverly Hills and Domenico's Foods. He works as the liaison between some of the best chefs, kitchens, and restaurants in the world. They import some of the finest products from Italy on a weekly basis, and he's in Europe often sourcing only the best. Also on is Dominick DiBartolomeo, who is the owner of the Cheese Store of Beverly Hills and Domenico's Foods. Now, Dominick's a Staten Island guy that went out to California to attend the University of Southern California. He initially wanted to go pre-med, but then realized his true passion was in the culinary arts. After graduating, he began working weekends at Bristol Farms and eventually joined the Cheese Store back in 2001. When he started, though, he didn't know much about cheese at all and challenged himself to learn 10 new cheeses a week, and now he's a cheese expert. Over 2 decades, he worked under the mentorship of the previous owner, Norbert Wabnig. In 2022, Dom purchased the cheese store from Wabnig, and this marked the first change in ownership for the store in 44 years. Dominick relocated the store to a larger 5,000 square foot space on South Santa Monica Boulevard, allowing for expanded inventory and the introduction of a takeaway menu featuring salads, sandwiches, and sides. Now, we can't forget about Domenico's Foods, which Dominick founded back in 2003. There, they specialize in fresh pastas, sauces, pestos, and a ton of other Italian products. This company started with selling a family recipe of sun-dried tomatoes and has since grown to supply the best in the biz, so restaurants, hotels, and farmers markets across the U.S. Dominick is also the co-host of a very popular podcast called Industry Only at the Cheese Store, and we'll talk more about that later in the hour. Jay, Dominick, welcome to Culinary Confidential.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
All right, so I just appreciate you guys doing the show. I know you have a lot going on, a ton of balls in the air, and then there's like the East Coast, West Coast time difference, so happy to have you both on the show tonight. Now, let's start with the 30-year friendship between the two of you. How did that get going?
It's kind of interesting. So Jay in college became best friends with my best friends from high school. I remember going to see, like, the first time I went to go to Delaware to go visit my friends, I met Jay. So I've known him for, it's been 30, bro, it's probably been more than 30 years, 30 years.
That's amazing.
There was a lot of fake IDs on the Upper East Side at the ski bar in the mid-90s. Yeah, in the mid-90s. This probably predates you, Christina, by far, but there used to be a bar called the Ski Bar on the Upper East Side, and they had these ice luge shots. Like, you would do, like, shots of Goldschlager, and stuff down this ice luge, and they would send a Swedish fish to let you know you were done with the shot. It's super unsanitary. I mean, you're talking about 30 years before COVID, but it was a frequent place where you could show them a library card and you could come in and have Coors Lights.
Oh, my gosh. I got my fake ID taken literally on the streets of Hoboken. The guy was like, stand in front of this white garage door. I'll take your picture. I was like, okay.
Oh, my God.
Oh, that's funny. But no, I don't think that bar is there anymore. I never heard of it. So that was a little bit before my time. But maybe we should bring that back. That sounds fun. All right. So you guys are East Coast boys. You were surrounded by Italian influence. I mean, Staten Island, New Jersey. Do you think this sets you up for success for what you're doing out west right now?
I will say that I have a very simple palate. Dom loves to remind me of that. For me, I compare everything. I still think to this day that nobody comes close to touching my mother's meatballs, especially in the 90s, early 2000s. She was really cooking with gas at that point. Oh. But, for sure. I mean, food was a big part of everything that we did. I mean, I don't know. I think we all kind of come from the background of at breakfast, I'm thinking about what we're having for lunch. And at lunch, I'm thinking about what we're having for dinner. And at dinner, I'm thinking about what we're going to eat for the next 3 days. So
that's great.
But I also think, too, I think it's like twofold, right? Like, I feel like, Staten Island and Hasbro Kites, I feel like, they're both more Italian than Italy. But I also think there's something to be said about the hustle and bustle of the East Coast. And I think that, if anything, I feel like that really served us. Yes, of course, like the Italian background and the love of food. But I think that hustle on the East Coast, it's innate, right? We were born with that. We can't get rid of that. And I think that's like such a great quality to have because, I don't know, man. I mean, we're constantly running around all day long. And, the next thing you know, you look up and it's like the day's almost done. Go home, you work even more. But it's fun. It's not really work. And I just love that hustle. I think that's what's sort of kind of the key to how we operate.
Absolutely. Wait, where in Staten Island did you grow up?
New York.
Where's that? Like, I go to the South Shore a lot, like Tottenville.
Yeah, no, opposite end of the island.
Oh, like the North Shore.
I guess it must be the North Shore. I actually...
It's a little rough up there, no?
Don't even know. No, it's not. I mean, not. Our neighborhood was... I mean, my parents still live in the same house I grew up in. We live on, right near, at the bottom of Toad Hill, which is a beautiful spot. It's pretty.
Toad Hill's.
Special. I mean,
Toad Hill was like mafia.
It's like where time stands still.
There's no such thing. Good boy, Dom. Okay, I have to say, like, I was shocked to hear that the cheese store of Beverly Hills was so popular because when I think Beverly Hills, I think of like green juices, plastic surgery, super skinny socialites, definitely nobody that's eating bread and carbs, things like that for sure.
Yeah, I mean, so you're thinking correctly, but it's actually kind of funny. One of the things I think that really attracted me to Beverly Hills, I mean, yes, you read about all these things on TV and it's all those things you just said, but like one of the things that really attracted me to Beverly Hills was this was the only place that I felt came the closest to like a neighborhood, like the way we grew up. Like Beverly Hills truly is a neighborhood. It has its own set of characters. It's literally, I mean, it's for me, it's hysterical, but it's true. Like this iconic cheese store brought in every single character from the neighborhood. And I think that's what really it was like a hangout, and it became like this unbelievable place to see everyone that was, hanging around the neighborhood. Like I could go down the block. I still see this guy Rocco sipping his coffee at Euro Cafe. Like it's crazy how much of a neighborhood Beverly Hills truly is. And I think that's why I actually fell in love with it.
I think that's amazing. I really haven't been to LA. I mean, I think it's got to be 15 years at this point. I used to go a lot in my 20s, but I just don't get there much anymore. But I never spent a ton of time in Beverly Hills, I'll tell you that. It was always like the beaches and things.
Dom, you've spent now at this point half your life in this city, in Beverly Hills. And it really is this great community, but also part of the allure of the cheese store too is, I mean, we do really attract all walks. I mean, we have celebrities and chefs and celebrity chefs and wise guys and doctors and lawyers and such.
Hey, Christina, that was yesterday.
Wow.
Yeah, that was just yesterday.
That's great.
It really is.
Think about that for 2 seconds, Jay. Think about that for 2 seconds, who was here yesterday.
I know.
Are you going to tell me who was there yesterday?
There's no such thing.
Hillary Duff was in, and then we had was Bianco here? I mean, we had a couple of characters here yesterday.
Oh, that's amazing. All right, we're going to talk a lot about the cheese store and like cheese specifically a little bit later on in the hour. Let's start with Domenico's Foods. Okay, why did you start this?
This was if I tell you the whole story, you might have to break this into like 4 episodes. So I'm going to give you the abbreviated version, which is basically, it literally came out of a love of food. And growing up in an Italian family, I'm pretty sure everyone on this call, probably even your producers, could relate to this.
Ryan Pagano, he can relate.
He can relate, right? Growing up in an Italian family, it's almost impossible not to have a love and a passion for food. And I came out from Staten Island. I went to University of Southern California. That's what brought me out here. And I was like, I had this allure of like, I'm going to be a doctor or whatever. And I was just almost at that point, like, I felt like I may have been chasing money and stuff. Like, it wasn't my true passion. And I kind of like pumped the brakes. I'm like, I got to do what I truly love. And I love food. And the only thing is, like, the only thing I ever did at a restaurant was like wash dishes. I was never a waiter. I was never like a cook in a restaurant or any of that stuff. But I knew that I wanted to get a foothold into the food industry. So, that's actually what got me started working at the cheese store. And when I started working at the cheese store, like a few months later, I started doing the farmers markets. But Domenico's Food literally was born out of a love of food. And I just started with, simple recipes that my grandfather, my parents made. And I just sort of, I like to say like I exploited them for monetary gain. But yeah, it was just something very simple, but really just out of a passion of food.
And Jay shares that same passion, it seems.
Yeah, Jay's a total gavone. He'll eat anything in front of him. So you have to kind of like, and he knows it. See, that's why he's completely silent in the background.
Do you guys make a good cutlet?
Oh, I mean, 1,000%. I mean, you can't. He couldn't. That was part of his interview process.
Yeah. Dom always says, I have a bona forchetta. Good fork.
Yeah.
Oh, I never heard that term before. That's good.
Oh, bona forchetta. Oh,
wait, do you speak Italian?
Hardly. I mean, yeah, I do get by in Italy. I do understand it very well. I butcher it, but I can definitely get by.
All right. Well, you guys do go to Europe often for Domenico's Foods, right? To kind of like source some things. Like when you're going, who are you seeing? What are you tasting? Like what are you doing over there?
Yeah, we go 2 to 3 times a year. Our most recent trip in February, we did 32 cities in 14 days.
What?
Yeah. It's we get after it. It's definitely not for the faint of heart, but we love it. We do what we love, and but we get after it. We go in with a very clear plan of attack. So we'll make a list over between trips of all the things that we want to source, producers that we work with that we want to see. And, one of the things that we kind of pride ourselves on is, we love working with small producers that have never sold to the United States before. So we help them get their USDA and FDA paperwork together. Dom is the best I've ever seen at that. We'll take people that their dream is to sell their product, their beautiful Italian products in America, and have never had that opportunity, and we help them get dialed in to be able to do such. And then we don't sell any products that we haven't broke bread with the producers before. We love to get to know them, see the farm, see the property, meet the wife and the girlfriend in some cases. But we
this is great.
We get after it and go see everything. So on this most recent trip, for example, Parmigiano Reggiano was a big thing that we wanted to come back with. We wanted our own Parmesan, our own brand that we believed in, and we found a maker in Emilia Romagna that checked all the boxes for us. The high quality product, people that we believe in and that understood our vision. And now we'll have a new Parmesan that'll be here shortly that's already left Italy on the way. And, it's a lot of products like that we go in specifically trying to source on the trip.
When you guys are going, is it just the two of you, or do you have like a team of people that you're traveling with?
So basically, we've got who we coined the Prince of Puglia, our really, really, really good friend who I've known for over 10 years now, Marcello. And Marcello lives in Puglia. Mm-hmm. And this guy is, not only is he's a total lover of food and wine, and he sells Italian wine in Italy. So he's dialed into, think about that, like he's dialed into every single restaurant, hotel, anything in the culinary world, like he's there. And he sells the absolute top brands of Italian wine. He knows it really well. So he usually meets us. We typically meet up in Rome. Mm-hmm. This time around, he lives in Puglia. So sometimes we had to go to Puglia. So we start in Bari, and then we just drive up and down the entire country, basically. And I bring...
This sounds awful.
My business, yeah. I bring my business partner and really good friend Kamira with us because he, too, like, loves food. And also, you know, he really has, like, this love of what we're doing in the cheese store and stuff. And it's great, too, because he gets an opportunity to see how we're actually, the attention to the detail that we actually spend finding and curating these products. So it's typically the four of us. To say Marcello has a heavy foot is a complete understatement. We literally can see what everyone has in their trunk. If we're next to them, we can see the the cup of coffee they're drinking. And we do not travel in the right lane. We only stay in the left lane.
Well, that's how you're doing Italy, 32 cities in 14 days.
Yeah, I mean, literally, if it's a 4-hour drive, we cut it down to like maybe 3 hours and 3 hours, 15 minutes.
Oh, my gosh. You guys are giving me anxiety.
But it's great.
Also, to piggyback a little bit, too, with, not only is Marcello he's the greatest, but he also loans us credibility that we're showing up with someone who is super dialed in the food industry in Italy. And, he's a great communicator on our behalf, and he understands our vision. He's a part of our family and our team. And, we're lucky to have him, but also, we're not just like the Americans coming there. We have someone from the other side who is looking out for our best interest as well to make sure that we're maximizing everything that we're trying to accomplish. And Camiar, who is our brother, and it's nice because he's John Q. Public at that point, which is a nice person to have in that, like, Dom and I are inside the business and Marcello is, inside the business, and Camiar brings a certain dynamic to the table that is like, I don't know, well, like, I don't understand this, like, explain this to me. And sometimes we learn yay or nay by talking it through with someone that's asking a question we might not have thought to ask.
That's really cool. I love that for you guys. And you got a guy in Italy. I mean, I said in the intro, Jay, I'm from Jersey. I always have a guy. You're my LA guy, and you have Marcello in Italy. It's good. All right, so who are some of the...
Christina, you have now you have a guy in Italy.
Ooh, that's true. Maybe we bring Marcello on the show.
And no one would understand
subtitles.
What are some of the venues you're supplying in LA and nationwide with your products?
Oh, man, like we sell to like Chris Bianco and Wolfgang Puck and
that's amazing.
Nancy Silverton and Massimo Bottura, Evan Funky, Dan Razza. Jay, help me out.
All the best hotels. And right now another hot spot here in LA is a place called Stella, which is being really well received. And
Chef Rob,
Providence, Providence,
Michael
has been arguably like at the top of the culinary scene in Los Angeles for 25 years. Just to name a few. I mean, we love working with chefs that are on the way up in their careers, chefs that have been doing it for a long time. I mean, we work with 3 Michelin star restaurant Quince in San Francisco. We work with places in Las Vegas and Chicago and Washington, D.C. and Austin, Texas, and Nashville.
Hawaii. Yeah, but what about Jersey?
We have a dear friend in New Jersey who a lot of people think is making some of the best pizza in the United States of America. A place called Razza. Who
in Jersey City.
Relationship with. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's amazing. Okay,
we love
good.
Dan. He's so talented. He's the best.
You know what? I've actually never been there. I'm going to check it out.
Oh, you have to go.
Yeah.
You got a guy now. Now you got guys.
I got guys all over. All right. This is a good time to take our first commercial break. Stay tuned. You're listening to Culinary Confidential with Christina Cates on AM 970 The Answer.
Over the last 30 years, Newman Ferrara, a New York City law firm, has evolved into a national practice focused on real estate, commercial, litigation, civil rights, class actions, and other complex litigation, representing many of the city's largest property owners, managing agents, and thousands of tenants. Newman Ferrara handles some of the nation's most significant class actions and civil rights matters. Newman Ferrara at 1250 Broadway in New York City. Go online to newmanferrara.com. That's newmanferrara.com. ferrara.com. Listen to the firm's name partner, Lucas Ferrara, every Saturday at 10 a.m. on Dottie Herman's longest-running real estate radio program, Eye on Real Estate on AM 970. A real estate lawyer for 35 years, Lucas is a professor at New York Law School and is also a published author with books on real estate and New York's landlord-tenant law. Tune in Saturdays at 10 a.m. to hear Lucas's unique perspective and advice on Eye on Real Estate.
Welcome back to Culinary Confidential with Christina Cates on AM 970. The Answer.
Welcome back. If you're just tuning in on the show tonight, we're talking cheese and other exciting things with my friends in Beverly Hills. Welcome back to the show, Dominick DiBartolomeo and Jay Seals of the Cheese Store of Beverly Hills and Domenico's Foods. Welcome back, guys.
Thank you.
Okay, I did want to ask in the first segment, which I didn't get to because we kind of ran out of time there. When we were talking about all the stuff you're bringing over from Italy, like how are the tariffs going to impact that for you? Are you worried?
Yeah, so look, our stance has been and will be we're going to keep everything constant until we actually have to raise prices. We think it's a negotiating tactic, and it's proven to be so. There are definitely, right now there's a blanket 10% on everything. I mean, it's a far cry from what they initially were touting. The first week it started at 20, then it went down to 10. So now, look, it's going to affect us a little bit, but I think it'll definitely level off. And, everyone's experiencing this right now. So
yeah, in all industries.
Europe are one thing. Yeah, the tariffs from Europe are one thing. I mean, the ones from China even worse. These are things we're not importing Chinese products, but in our store we use napkins and boxes and all these things that, packaging materials that not a lot of people think about, but the majority of those are sourced from China. That's where we're experiencing the biggest increase right now.
All right, let's talk about some fun things then. Let's talk about your podcast, Dom, Industry Only at the Cheese Store. How long have you had the pod?
Yeah. So we've been doing this now for a year and a half, almost 2 years. It's something that Andy Wang, a veteran food writer and kind of a veteran industry player, basically came out. He came and interviewed me when I was doing the store, and I was like, bro, we sat for a few hours after we were done with the interview. I was like, I feel like we should do a podcast. And we just sort of rolled it up and were like, yeah, let's just go with it. Let's go with it. Between both of our connections, we have so many people in the industry that, they have stories to be told. And we managed to just put it together. We just launched season 3 last week, and it was pretty cool. We had Michael Bottaggio on, and it was, I think, one of the best episodes we've done so far. We're getting better at it as we're progressing. So it's really cool, and it really not only helped tell everyone's story, but it's really cool to have something so specific in our industry where, we get a lot of comments from listeners telling us how, hey, man, I went through this, I can relate to that. I think it's a really cool thing to have, and it's been a lot of fun so far.
I feel like you're probably really good at talking to people. That's your thing. I see your reels in the cheese store. You talk to everybody, so I imagine you're super great on the pod. I'm going to check it out myself. Where can I listen to it?
You can listen anywhere, we're on Spotify. We're on
all the major ones.
iTunes. Yeah, all the major ones. Anywhere that you can listen to a podcast, we're pretty much on there.
Has Jay been on it?
Jay made an appearance. It hasn't aired yet, but Jay made an appearance on one of them. It was actually a really, really, really fun one. We went down to this Chinese restaurant that's an institution down in the San Gabriel Valley. So basically, Jay, how long did it take us to get there?
First of all, we have to double check to see if they were running a special on flights to get out there. But it took us, we were in the car for easily an hour, that's for sure. I think I might be being generous.
You should have had Marcello driving.
Miles away. Yeah, we would have been there in a half hour.
Oh gosh. Okay.
Oh, yeah. That'll definitely be the lowest rated episode of their career for sure.
Definitely no.
Never.
All right, let's talk a little bit more about LA proper, because like I said, I haven't really been there in too long. Are there neighborhoods that are the new culinary hotspot?
Yeah, first of all, the food scene in LA is awesome right now. I think that LA is, and it's starting to get more recognized as well. I know a lot of people don't love the James Beards and the Michelins and the blah, but I don't know, those kind of awards and credibility are helpful for people to know that their community has great places to eat. And I think that there's a lot of people pushing a lot of the right buttons in this city. I think that it doesn't matter where you live in LA. The thing about LA is it's such a spread out city.
Yeah.
It's all these the best way I could describe it is picture if Bergen County was a city there's all these little communities that kind of make up this one city. Whereas like New York, it feels like a metropolis, whereas LA is all these different neighborhoods. And I don't care what neighborhood you live in LA, there's an awesome place for you to go eat that's in walking distance from wherever you're at.
Right, because the traffic is so bad in LA.
Yeah,
It's the same as Rutherford.
Well, I got to tell you, the traffic is bad in Rutherford these days. We're really developing pretty quickly there.
Christina, that's my point.
Well,
Give it a bad rap.
yeah. Have you been to Rutherford recently? Like, have you been back home?
My cousin's the mayor.
No, I know. But have you been back, like, recently? It's a bustling dining scene now.
I know. There's a lot of great places to eat in Rutherford.
We have 39 Italian restaurants in town. I can't believe none of them have Domenico's Foods products in them.
But Jay, you got to change that.
I mean,
I know.
Exactly.
Yeah,
your cousin's the
yeah.
mayor. I mean, this is an easy layup for you.
We have a friend that owns a restaurant in Rutherford. I can't think of the name of it.
Well, then,
But,
how good of a friend is
his
he?
name is Yeah, well, I mean, his name is Giovanni.
Giovanni. No.
But I don't know the name of his family restaurant, but I hear everybody loves it.
Is it new?
Nah, it's been there.
Maybe it's Volare down at the Circle.
Maybe.
That's been there a long time. All right, so we're gonna have to start talking about cheese at some point here. Like, I know, Dom, when you first started out, like, you didn't know much about cheese and you committed to learning 10 new cheeses a week, and now you're the cheese expert. Did you do any kind of like certification or like cheese education?
I'll probably get backlash for saying this, but I don't really subscribe to any of those like cheese courses and you get a certificate. To me, like, I think the way to learn it is to live it, and you got to be in it.
You're right.
And everything that I did, I had considered Norbert, who I bought the store from, and basically my mentor. I considered him to be a great teacher because he literally just threw you in head first. Mm-hmm. And you start helping a customer, you bring home a bunch of cheeses, you try them, you taste them, you learn about them. I mean, there's certain things like that you might want to Google on something just to get a little bit more clarification. But I also try to make it really fun. Like, I don't need to know that Cistercian monks made the Abbey de Valois cheese. I mean, I know it, but like, I don't have to get that specific. I don't need to know the cow's name that the milk came from.
Right.
I think that it's more of like if you can make it fun and you make it entertaining for everyone and you give them a great quality product, I think that's really where the fun and the learning for me comes in. But I do enjoy, like these trips that we go on, I do enjoy doing that. And when you learn about the cheeses and see how people make things, like, it's one thing to read about it, it's another thing to actually see it. And I think, Jay, like, that was the first time you saw Parmigiano Reggiano being made. But, like, I mean, how much did you learn from that little spot that you were just like, wow, like, this is amazing. Like, I never really thought about it like that. And then that sort of energy and stuff really does convey to the customers. And you just saw the whole thing full circle.
Is Jay ever in the store slinging cheese, or is he like the behind-the-scenes guy?
No. Jay, literally, he will, with a wheel of Parmesan in his hand, he will take a sandwich order while he's bussing a table in the middle of having a conversation with the chef. That is Jay. He is running around everywhere with little Post-it notes, and you just follow the Post-it notes, you'll find them.
Jay, you have anything to say about that?
I am a Post-it note guy. That is a fact. My desk literally looks like a giant highlighter pen.
Oh, my goodness. Hey, did you guys, when you were in Italy, did you ever try that most dangerous cheese in the world, that in Sardinia? What is that cheese called?
With the maggots.
With the maggots?
The cashew, I think it's like cashew marzu. Yeah, it has the live maggots on it.
It's interesting because I was just in Sardinia last summer. But
Me
it was
too.
more for a vacation. Oh, really?
Yeah, where'd you go?
I went to, and I get confused. It was either the north or the south, and I don't remember which one. I went to the sleepy side.
Oh, the south. I went to the north.
That was my first. It's amazing. It's a beautiful, I mean, it's absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah.
But it's funny because a lot of those cheesemakers and stuff like that cheese definitely is something that probably some of the smaller caseificios might make. And I would even say, like, I wouldn't say that anyone in commercial production is making that cheese. I think it's more like a cheese that they were probably making, back in the day. I'm sure it's still available, but if it is, it's probably just something that you would make for your house or whatever. And really all it is it's the maggots that sort of eat through the cheese, and it's basically the natural way of aerating a cheese to become blue.
You couldn't pay
rather
me.
than like injecting it with the Penicillin Roquefort or whatever.
Yeah. No, not for me. No. I don't even like blue cheese. I'm certainly not eating,
Oh, really? No, I don't mind the blue. I draw the line with the insects. I don't do any insects or any of that.
Wait, so did you say you don't really love the blue?
Oh, I love blue.
Oh, you love blue. Okay, I was going to say, that
blue, yeah.
shocks me for you.
I grew up with blue. My nonna used to make a gorgonzola and butter sandwiches for us.
Oh, you're killing me.
I love it. I still see the wrapper.
Oh, my gosh. Jay, you're very quiet on the line here.
I'm just letting you guys go at it, and I'll chime in by saying that I guarantee you that I can pick 3 blue cheeses, and one of them would turn you to the dark side.
No, it's like one of those hard no's for me. People think I'm a foodie because I go out a lot and I'm like in the biz a bit, but I actually don't like a lot of things, and blue cheese is one of those things that, like, gun to my head, I cannot put in my mouth. I just don't even like to be in the same room as it.
Oh, wow.
And I remember the first time
like
I ever tried it, I thought I was just literally going to die. I was working at Tavern on the Green. Someone gave me a Cobb salad, and I didn't even, like, really know what blue cheese was. I was so young, and I just took a big bite of it, and I didn't know what to do with myself. And I've just never looked back. All right. Let's go to a commercial break. And when we get back, I want to talk all things cheese store Beverly Hills. Okay, so stay tuned. You're listening to Culinary Confidential with Christina Cates on AM 970 The Answer.
Over the last 30 years, Newman Ferrara, a New York City law firm, has evolved into a national practice focused on real estate, commercial, litigation, civil rights, class actions, and other complex litigation, representing many of the city's largest property owners, managing agents, and thousands of tenants. Newman Ferrara handles some of the nation's most significant class actions and civil rights matters. Newman Ferrara at 1250 Broadway in New York City. Go online to newmanferrara.com. That's newmanferrara.com. Listen to the firm's name partner, Lucas Ferrara, every Saturday at 10 a.m. on Dottie Herman's longest-running real estate radio program, Eye on Real Estate on AM 970. A real estate lawyer for 35 years, Lucas is a professor at New York Law School and is also a published author with books on real estate and New York's landlord-tenant law. Tune in Saturdays at 10 a.m. to hear Lucas's unique perspective and advice on Eye on Real Estate.
Welcome back to Culinary Confidential with Christina Cates on AM 970. The Answer.
Welcome back. On the show tonight, we're talking cheese and other exciting things with Jay Seals and Dominick DiBartolomeo of the Cheese Store of Beverly Hills and Domenico's Foods. Guys, welcome back to the show.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So your social media for the Cheese Store of Beverly Hills is so good. I mean, the sandwiches that I see on these reels, I'm telling you, it's enough to make me want to jump on a plane and go to the West Coast just for a sandwich. And that says a lot because we make fantastic sandwiches in North Jersey and New York City. Like,
I believe it.
Are you guys making the bread there?
No, we're not. We're not making the bread. The bread, oddly enough, the bread is actually from Spain.
Oh my goodness. It just looks so like light and crispy.
It is like it's literally I literally call it the perfect vessel for the ingredients.
Oh gosh. All right. Well, who's coming up with these like different varieties of sandwiches, Dom? Is it you?
Yeah, I mean, like, look, we have a whole culinary team here. So, and Jay and I and everyone else on our team, like, we literally sit around, we'll come up with an idea, and then we'll start to hone it and craft it. We've got Hillary and Adrian and all these incredibly talented chefs on our team that literally will sit down with us. We sort of have a little vision for what the next iteration might be, and then we start testing. It's interesting, too, because, yeah, like, oh, it's just a sandwich, but it's like, it's not just a sandwich. It's amazing ingredients. It's how you build it. The texture, the flavor,
yeah.
Does it have a beginning, middle, end? Like, there's a whole story behind it.
Oh, I gotta ask, what did the previous owner think when you moved to locations to like the bigger spot on South Santa Monica Boulevard?
Yeah, I'll never forget. You know, it was kind of weird. The way the whole transaction happened and the way everything was when he initially heard, you know, that there was a rumor that the store might be moving. He was like, "Dom, whatever you do," he's like, "Don't move the store."
Oh.
And I was, you know, we had a signed lease, we had everything going, and I really couldn't make too much of this information public yet because a lot of people didn't know that he was selling. There was like it was a complicated, it was a great transaction, but it was a lot of moving parts. Mm-hmm. And, you know, I'll never forget, he was like, "Whatever you do, don't move the store." He's like, you know, he basically waited I don't know how many years for the old location to become available. And they were in that location for over 50 years. And, you know, when he told me that, I was so nervous. I was so scared. I'm like, dude, I have everything that I own in this store that's being built out right now. Like, I'll never forget that. I came home and I told my wife, I was like, you know, Norm just told me not to move the store. I was like, well, it's too late. And she's like, don't worry, it's all going to work out. It's going to be fine. And it was a big chance. It was definitely a big risk, but there's that fine line of intelligent and being kind of stupid. And I think I teetered between both of those lines, but
that's okay.
We're very lucky that it worked out.
Yes, I would say it has. How do you think the store has changed since you took ownership?
I think that, you know, the store is experiencing an evolution, and I think that's the whole key to the brand and the businesses. It has to evolve. And while one location may not be better than the previous location or vice versa, I think that, you know, what we're offering now at the store is a complete evolution in a really positive way. So, you know, the new store has sandwiches and salads, like you just mentioned. We, in addition to selling beer and wine, we sell spirits. We have a beautiful patio outside where we're serving wines by the glass and cheese platters and caviar. Like, I think that for a brand to be successful, you have to continue evolving it, or the next thing you know,
right.
That's Blockbuster, right? You're
That's
done.
Right. All right, so let's talk about those cheeses in the store. What's a trendy cheese right now? Like, you remember a couple years ago that, like, raclette was, like, all the rage. You would see it all over social media. Like, what's the trendy cheese that people go after?
You know what's kind of funny is the old regime of the cheese store, which was an amazing iteration of the store and the brand, but the old timers if it didn't come from Europe, they didn't want anything to do with it. Whereas, like, the new guys, we have this great young new staff here at the cheese store. Not real new. I mean, they've all been working there for a little while, but they're young guys. And these guys love domestic cheeses. So I think it's really cool where they're, you know, if it wasn't from France or Spain, you know, the old guys didn't think it could even be called cheese, whereas these new guys are like, have you tried this new thing from Tennessee, this blue cheese from Oklahoma? And I think that's really cool. I think that these guys have their finger on the pulse in a different way. Obviously, right now, I just tasted something the other day that was cool because there's always a demand for a cheese that has been really popular for a while called Rogue River Blue Cheese, which, again, Christina, we're not checking the right boxes for you.
That's okay. Someone out there loves blue cheese. My friend Tiffany loves.
Yeah. Well, Tiffany should totally have Rogue River Blue, but it's only available for certain seasons of the year. But they have a version of it that's just slightly different called Oregon Blue from Rogue River that is just really fantastic. And it was, you know, kind of brought to my attention by the youth of America here at the cheese store. Mm-hmm. And I was able to show it to a chef from one of Wolfgang Puck's restaurants that was like, oh, great, I'll take this. You know, it was just like that where, you know, I only thought you could get Rogue River for these few months, but there's something kind of close enough that checks the box for the rest of the year.
You must have the best blue cheese stuffed olives for dirty martinis in the whole town.
You got to go to Rayo's for those. Rayo's. Do you know the restaurant Rayo's?
In New York, of course. I've been there.
Lucky you.
I know. I know the right people. I got a guy for that, too.
Yeah, there you go. But they have a version here in Hollywood, and our dear friend Johnny Roast Beef, that's his name. They meticulously get the best blue cheese to stuff their olives with. So, like, you know, it's nice when you see a place that actually genuinely, you know,
put some pride into it.
That. Yeah, there you go.
Okay, so what are the most requested cheeses in your store?
Oh man, I mean, I feel like there's a variety, right? I mean, when you're talking about 500, 600, 700 cheeses at any given time on the floor, there's always going to be, you know, new stuff that people want to try and stuff. But I would say, like, the most requested is probably things that you think about often, right? Like Parmigiano Reggiano, Gruyere, like a lot of the cheeses that you cook with. We sell a lot of the Camembert. We sell a lot of soft ripening cheeses. What we really try and do, and I think where our magic is, you know, when the customers come in the store, you can basically taste anything that you want. And
yeah, I see that a lot.
Yeah, like, you have to try it. Like, who wants to go home? Like, it's one thing, like, you go home, you buy a T-shirt, it doesn't fit. It's like, you're disappointed. You go home, like, you eat something that you really were looking forward to eating and you don't like it. Like, that's, like, really disappointing, right? Like,
yeah.
So I feel like, you know, you try everything, you come in, we give you this amazing, you know, customer service, And I love being able to give people things that they haven't had before, or you learn a little bit of a style of something they like and then give them something, not better, but maybe different than what they're used to. And they might like it more. But I think that, most popular cheeses are probably going to be things that you cook with or things like that. But, we do a lot of cheese and charcuterie boards, which is probably one of the most popular things in the store right now. And I can say, like, just giving a variety of cheeses from soft to hard, like, I think that's sort of like what's sort of popular and trending right now.
Mm-hmm. What are you carrying from, like, local California producers of cheese? I mean, are there any? I don't even know.
Oh, yeah. California is probably the agricultural capital of the United States, from everything from not only just milk. I mean, obviously, yes, we think of Wisconsin and stuff like that too, of course, but like from milk to, vegetables and fruits. Like the farmers markets here are just loaded with just unbelievable produce and things like that. And they do have a lot of dairies here. So like there's companies that we work with, like Fiscalini Cheddar up north. There's the Red Cow, Mount Tam and Red Cow from Cowgirl Creamery. There's a variety of cheeses. There's also some stuff from the like Central Coast Creamery in Paso Robles. There's so many different. Oh, Sion Scanlon at on Dante Dairy. Like there's so many different California cheeses, and they even have some buffalo milk. They have some sheep's milk, goat, cow. So there's a wide variety, and I think we're getting really good. Just California, of course, as well, but like even just domestically, we're getting very good at the cheese making process.
That's great. All right, we're running out of time in the hour. I want you to build me the perfect cheese board.
Oh, man. So I'll start with one, and then I'll have Jay give it. So for me...
Yeah, I want Dom's first. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. For me, we have, I usually do, 5 cheeses, no matter how many people. I think 5 represents a sheep, a cow, a goat, a blue, and then you get your nice little triple crab. So for me, I would start out with, a sheep's milk cheese called Bujaiolo. It's a sheep's milk cheese that comes with the wild fennel seed, and it's injected with wild fennel pollen. It's a very unique cheese from our friend Andrea Maggi up in Tuscany. I would start with that. That would be my sheep's milk. My cow's milk would be a Plas, which is a stronger cheese than what it smells like. It's washed rind with Marc de Bourgogne. It's almost like fondue in a little container. It's delicious. For the goat, I like something sort of not so gamey, like the goat standing right next to you. Something like a Valençay or an Ash Valençay. I think those are little beautiful pyramids with the top cut off. For the triple crème, and I love triple crème. I'm a huge fan. I would do Vacheroust Argental, which is a real true triple crème from the Rhone area. I think that's so velvety and perfect. Goes great with bubbles. And then I'd say for the blue cheese, hands down right now, one of my favorite blues is the Briocaccio Vino, which is a cow's milk cheese aged in the must of the Italian dessert wine Passito. And so it's a little bit sweet, and it really is the perfect ending to whatever cheeses you're having. And of course, you cannot forget putting, prosciutto and some salami and things like that on the plate.
Ooh, that's fantastic. Jay, what are you putting on yours? Some Velveeta spread?
No Velveeta for me. Although, don't hate on the Velveeta. I mean, that's, I can still picture the wrapping. You have to peel the wrap off.
Well, those were for the singles. Are you talking about the big brick? Yeah. Yeah,
the old Kraft and Kraft singles.
Yeah.
For me, I'll try and pick different ones from Dom, but also checking the boxes for me. So for my sheep, I would go with a French Basque sheep milk cheese. I think some of those sheep milk cheeses from the French Basque region they're kind of a hit for everybody. They're mild but delicious. My favorite is probably Les Secrets Compostelle. There's another one called Tome de Papillon that I really love, but a sheep from the French Basque for me. My goat cheese would be also from that same cheesemaker we talked about from Tuscany. His name is Andrea Maggi. He's got one called Dama Bianca, which translates to the white lady, which is fantastic. The sheeps are from Spain, but it's made by this mad genius from Tuscany. So it's kind of Spanish. It's kind of Italian. I really love that.
Fancy.
My cow would be an aged Gouda from Holland. Specifically, there's one that's a 26-month from a company called Beemster that I really love. The Beemster XO is fantastic. And I love the aged salt crystals. It chunks really well. It looks great on the board. My triple creme would be Briot Savarin from France, also kind of a classic traditional cow's milk triple creme. And my blue cheese would be the one that I think would get you to like blue cheese, Christina, and that's called the Aschenblau. It's an ashy blue cheese from Bavaria, from Germany, so it's kind of creamy, really delicious, and I think that would round out my board.
I'll give it a try. I'm going to get out to Cali, and I'll let you taste me on one gentle blue cheese, and then we'll see if you can turn me. But check out the cheese store at Beverly Hills, located at 9705 South Santa Monica Boulevard in Beverly Hills, California, or go to their website, thecheesestore.com. Guys, you were fantastic. Thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thank you so much for having us.
Jay, next time you're back in Jersey, I mean, you got to give me a ring.
Absolutely.
Okay, thank you for listening to Culinary Confidential with Christina Cates, Sunday nights at 9 p.m. on AM 970 The Answer. Tune in next week for an exciting show with global celebrity chef Vikas Khanna. I'm going to be highlighting the ever so popular right now Indian cuisine, and I went straight to the top of the food chain, and I'm bringing you the best to talk about it. Chef Vikas, along with his managing partner Samir Bhatt, are coming on to talk about how they're blending old world tradition with innovation for an irresistible experience at their restaurant, Bungalow, which, if you're in New York, you know that's the toughest res to snag in the city. Chef Vikas has his hands on a lot of things. Besides being one of the top 10 most influential chefs in the world, he's a humanitarian, a filmmaker, and an author. It's going to be an incredible hour that you won't want to miss. But that's the show for tonight. Thanks for listening and have a great night.
The preceding program is sponsored by Shake It Off Live, LLC.